Welcome to the Brewtiful Game. As always, I am Blake here with Ferris.
Hola.
And freshly back from China with a lot of jet lag, we got Ron.
What's happening? Just a lot of jet lag.
Oh, man.
Right before we started recording, I pulled up the internet and I just sat and stared at it for a good solid 40 seconds until I could remember what the hell I was trying to look up.
Ooh. This should be a good pod. Almost as good as when he was drinking Scrapple and Pork Slap, but was hungover.
Yeah, and you and I were sloshing through it.
God. Oh, I have a funny story. Before we get to the beer that I brought because Ron walked in cross-eyed, and I said, hey, did you bring beer? No. Ferris, you bring beer? No. I'm glad I keep spare beers in the fridge for this.
Yes, I am too. Or else this would not have been the Brewtiful Game pod today.
What's great, though,
it does say you on the top of
does
the...
it? I
put Blake just because it was the de facto we're going to his place.
Yeah.
There's something that has to be in the fridge.
And it's totally fine because I always try to keep a couple of things that I haven't tried, whatever. So I don't think we've tried. It turns out, actually, what I picked is perfect. It actually worked out just great. Or what I had worked out just great. It's fortuitous. But before, and because I'm so tired too, because work has been crazy, you have to stop me if I told this last pod. But did I tell this last pod about my brother-in-law almost drinking the Butternut Brewery beer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
See,
you did. Yeah, you did.
I'm not even going to edit it out just so you know the truth. That's how tired I am. That was in the last show, and I don't even freaking remember.
And if I think I remember correctly, Ron and I were like, well, why didn't you just let him drink it?
Yeah.
Because I'm saving that for a bet.
No,
it's coming.
Oh, God.
It's
Are any of us
coming.
do any of us believe in something that strongly that we're willing to do it?
Because there's gonna be a moment, something that
You might, but I don't know if anybody else will.
There'll be a moment of something that Ferris believes in so strongly about Man United that I will be able to get him to say yes to that.
Listen, let's open up this can of worms real quick. United have been...
Oh, we're gonna get there.
Oh no, we're not talking about United.
We're not. No, we're talking about you. You're gonna be so keyed up on something. I think I'll be able to get you at some point. That's my bet. That's what I think.
I'm shaking my head because knowing that I'll probably end up making a bet and sloshing down some Snapple Crapple beer.
God, okay. You're already starting off the bleep counter. At least you made it.
You started it
to 2 minutes. Did I?
I don't know. You enticed. I don't even know that. I don't know what
probably did.
I don't know what we're doing tonight.
So today we're going to talk a little bit of Premier League because we're kind of it's literally just kind of the tops and bottoms right now as far as Premier League goes, the top four, and really just the top third of the bottom three that we're concerned with at this point.
Figure that mouth out.
Oh man, I know, but we got some. But we do have some big old Champions League stuff to talk about.
That's some
and
craziness.
the NWSL is back. But first, I'm back in black. That'll make sense in just a second as I move on to the most perfect beer for this evening. This beer is from Florida, from a little place down the road that actually ain't so little, called the Brew Hub.
Cool.
And the Brew Hub, for those of you unfamiliar, is a facility. I'll read the explanation real quick. They brew their own beers, which is what we're going to have, but they also are a big contributor for people. So basically, they provide a new business model. This is off the website for the craft brewing industry with the right products and partnership opportunities. We're putting the power back in the hands of the brand holder. So what this really means is if you are a craft brewer, and you don't have access to a large facility to brew your beers, you can create your recipe. You can partner with them, and they will they will make your beers, and they will not that, but you got their distribution, their national and international.
They'll package it, label it.
Yep, and they've got all the stuff. Now, obviously, they get a cut of stuff, but there are so many places that don't have access to, like our Cigar City, actually, that we love here in Tampa. They're a great brewery, and everything you have at their restaurant, they are brewing right there on the facility, but it's not big enough to accommodate all the beers they make. So like the Brew Hub does it for them, but it's all made to their specifications. So it's a pretty cool place. Actually founded by some of the folks that got booted out when InBev bought Anheuser-Busch.
Oh.
So it was like some of those execs were like, the craft beer thing has happened. Why don't we make a business that helps with that? So anyway, but they also do have their own tap room, and they make their own beer under their own Brew Hub label, and we are going to have one that is a perfect beer for us this evening. It's a style I think we might have had once, maybe twice, if we've had it at all.
Here we go. Interesting. Perfect beer for the night.
Yes, this is from the Brew Hub, the Matte Black Lager, a schwarzbier, brewed with some delicious coffee
Ooh,
to get us through this show.
And this actually matches with my black backwards hat and black old school, well, not old school, but back when United were doing good in the Champions League kit. So
This is not about United. It's about the beer.
you know what? We started off on that train, and they're such shit anyways that we might as well just get off to a good start with it.
Just own that fact.
Hey, I have not seen this yet, Blake.
It's just actually shown up in the Publix. Actually, my wife saw this and snagged it. I don't think you guys have had this.
I have not.
No, I haven't.
It actually rates pretty well. Actually, let me give you a quick description. So this is the matte black. It's an all black can with like gold writing. It's a real striking looking can, actually. 5% ABV, 20 IBU, and brewed again, as I said, Brew Hub in Lakeland, Florida. Matte Black is a unique collaboration between Brew Hub and Concord Coffee in Lakeland, Florida. The Guatemalan coffee is cold brewed to preserve the delicate and nuanced flavors of the varietal, and then imparts a rich yet delicate roast to the smooth, velvety textures of the schwarzbier, a German black lager. These two brews engage in an elegant and subtle dance, swaying with one another on your palate. I like that. They are deep on color, full on flavor, and light in body. Be it life, coffee, or beer, it all comes down to how you make it and how you take it.
That means two things.
I like.
It's dancing on my palate.
Yeah, you got that right. I like that. I want to get Billy D. Williams up in here to read that description.
That would be brilliant.
This is Samuel L. Jackson.
No, Billy D, man. Billy D. He's back, man. Lando's back.
Billy D.
Oh, I was so excited
That's
when
pretty
I
awesome,
saw him in that new Star Wars trailer. I was like,
Oh, yeah, that's right. Like at the very end.
He's back. All right, so let's try this guy.
Tapping that, which means nothing, right?
Scientifically nothing, but it makes me feel better.
Cool.
Makes a good sound.
Ooh, that puppy's dark.
We're all busy pouring.
Yeah, no, I stopped because Blake's pouring sound was fantastic. Hope that came out as good as I just heard it through my
I know
headphones.
that's definitely something like
Wow.
a beer commercial.
Yeah, that was perfect. I didn't even pour mine yet.
It's okay. I poured a little on my shorts there too.
It's all right. Your shorts need beer.
Yep.
It's a Schwarzbier.
Oh, is that Schwarzbier on your shorts beer? Or are you just excited to see me?
So save the dad jokes for the end. Come on.
That was me. I did that one.
No, I'm talking to you too.
Can I dance on your palate?
That's a euphemism. Ooh.
Let's see. Oh, this says, let's
Fuck,
see.
it's cold, man.
Yeah. I love this also on the can there. It's got the Concord coffee brewing symbol, but still, be it life,
Smells
coffee,
like
or
coffee.
beer, it all comes down to how you make it and how you take it. I love it.
You have to say it that way
say it.
every time.
Oh, man. That's the new, like, I wish that was our slogan. Doesn't make sense, but I just want to like
Brewtiful
saying
Game.
it.
It's all about how
How
you
you
take
make it or how you take it. Hey, take the shot. I'm saying it could work. All right.
Could it?
So this
Carbonated over there.
is Matte Black Schwarzbier. Schwarz.
No head retention at all.
Not a lot, actually. Nope. Going pretty fast.
It's
Not because of the coffee in it.
it's really pretty carbonated.
It's very dark. I mean, dark. Not like Guinness, where
Guatemalan
there's
coffee.
almost a red sheen shine through here. It is,
No.
yeah, it is black.
It's
Yeah, okay.
it's kind of like that
Engine
Harvey's
oil or
Tune-
whatever, yeah.
the
Harvest
Harvey's Tune
Tune,
engine,
yeah.
old engine oil.
All right, gents. Here we go.
Smells
Cheers.
like coffee. Can't wait.
I
Nice
I'm so-
nightcap here after a good meal.
was so tired. I knew this would be the perfect one. Ooh, man, I like
tasty.
that.
That is tasty. It almost tastes like a black lager.
Well, I mean, it is.
Oh, no,
Well, I mean,
well, I wasn't paying attention.
good job.
I think
Damn it.
the initial taste,
Hey, at least my palate. I know what the hell I'm drinking, right?
the initial taste is very carbonated.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
after that,
that's what I was saying about your
smooths
glass.
out.
Yeah.
So the Schwarzbier is like is a lager that basically it's had the malts have been roasted,
Right.
so that it comes out black. But what I like is it said the coffee they put in was cold brewed.
Huh.
So if you've ever had, for example, cold brew coffee comes out less bitter. If you go to Starbucks, their regular coffee is super bitter, but if you get the cold brew, it's less acidic, a little less bitter. So this is actually good because sometimes a coffee beer has a little too much of with the hops for me, sometimes too much of it's kind of bitter there, that little on the back of the tongue, whatever that. I don't know how to describe that taste exactly. But this with the beer or the coffee being cold brew is much smoother.
Yeah. I think once you get to like the middle of your palate, the flavor really starts kicking in. I don't think it's all that flavorful in the very beginning. Either that or it's overpowered by the carbonation. But the coffee notes and the chocolate really blend nicely.
It is super middle of the palate. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not overpowering. Or one thing I also like, it's not a heavy drink. It's not like going to sit hard in your stomach.
No, yeah, you look at this dark drink and you think like it would be, but it doesn't seem that way.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's because it's a black lager.
I almost brought these in with coffee cups because we all. I was like, man, I'm really tired. I know Ron has some jet lag, and then Ferris, you got out of the car. I was like, we're all there.
Yep,
there we go. We're all there.
So real quick before we get on to the soccer. So I was in Beijing for 10 days, and
we get it.
Rub that in our face.
And I got to do a lot of brewery exploring. So check out.
Oh yeah, the Untapped was blowing.
Some of that stuff looked real cool, man.
Some of them are. So my favorite one is Great. So far, my favorite one is Great Leap Brewing. And it's in the Hutongs. And the Hutongs are like this really ancient part of the city with very narrow streets, and the shops are like the size of small little houses.
Yeah, you showed me, Ron FaceTimed me and showed me the area. And I was like, it just looks like I don't know what you imagine, those thin alleyways and everything. Like I was ready for Jackie Chan to bounce from like wall to wall in there and like do some stunts. Like it was cool looking.
but so my favorite one, Great Leap Brewing, and it's in the Hutongs, built the late 1400s, early 1500s, and I'm drinking beer made out of like all kinds of crazy local ingredients. So check out our Untapped.
It's blown up with all these Chinese characters on our check-ins. I love it. I think it's so cool.
So fun.
Because I got the Apple Watch, so it dings, with an update.
Right.
I just let people like toasting our check-ins that I haven't seen, and it's just nothing but like toasted, and it's just Chinese characters across the watch. I'm like, that's so rad.
Yeah. So check that out. There's one brewery I haven't made it to yet, which I think is my favorite name. It's called the Slow Boat Brewing.
Sounds awesome.
That's
so brilliant.
Amazing.
Just sounds awesome.
Is that made by Westerners or is that Chinese owned?
It's Chinese owned.
Oh my gosh. That's whoever was in charge of coming up with the name. Yeah, that's awesome.
Brilliant. And a big ship is their logo. I haven't made it there yet. And there's a handful of other ones that I have yet to go to. Also, while I was there, I went to the Workers Stadium, which is where the Chinese Super League current top of the table team, the Beijing Guan, they play there. I tried to get into a game, and it's pretty peculiar how they sell their tickets, and I'm still not a master of figuring out their system, but essentially you can only buy the tickets online, and then they have to mail them to you. And ticket sales stop 5 days before the game so that they have time to put it in the post and send it to you. You can't buy it online after the 5 days, and you can't get an electronic ticket. It's weird how they do it. So I didn't actually make it to the game on the 14th that I wanted to make it to. But outside of the stadium, they do have a bunch of fun shops, including a team store.
Oh, no.
You did not.
Dad came back with presents from his work trip.
Bring back some.
For you and for you.
Dude, Scarfies.
Hell yes.
Oh, man.
Yeah, 48 kwai, or 48 RMB. And that equates to about $7 US.
And I assume every year that's listening here is the championship year? They are good.
They're a really good team.
It's a good green and yellow color together.
Also, super comfy.
Oh my God.
It's a very
it's not it's an actual scarf, not like the like the super dry scarf.
Like we use because it's too freaking hot. Yeah. That's awesome, dude.
That's cool, man. Thank you.
I'm waiting for their.
That is awesome.
I was looking for jerseys, but they didn't have the ones I really liked, so I didn't get them for you yet. But
that's rad.
That's the team we're following.
So cool, man. Thank you.
We're all gonna have to buy reinforced mic stands because we keep loading them down with scarves over here.
The last scarf you brought me back from over on that side of the world in Japan was the antler scarf, and I believe they won the J League last year, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my antlers, baby.
I know. I got the Japan national team scarf on mine.
But they're if you go to Japan, all of their sizes run small. So I'm about 5'8" and 155.
I'm 15XL.
Yeah, I'm a 2X.
That a boy. You really have been traveling.
So I put on a jersey.
We didn't want to tell you that when you came back, we were like,
hey, man.
didn't eat no way.
You got fat, dude.
Stop eating all that good food over there. You gotta.
But yeah, I was at 2X. I tried to put on a medium, and it was like, sausage in a casing. And I was like,
so basically,
it's an Arsenal shirt.
Exactly. So basically, Corzola in a kid.
To be fair, I guess it's Arsenal for like a couple years. This newest one isn't as
nipply.
Yes, not as nipply. Yeah. And next year they switch to Adidas. I'm real bummed about that because I just like Puma in general. Whatever, the Italian team, they make cool kits.
Yeah.
And I just like their gear and their hats. And I'm like, Adidas.
I like Adidas. I'm an Adidas guy.
Great. So now all my kits can look the same between Orlando City and just a
They
different
changed
color.
it up a little
You're
bit.
right. Now they
little bit.
have tire marks on them.
no, So when you say they changed it up, instead of this team having 3 stripes down the shoulder and neck into the sleeve, it only has 2.
I mean, you're wearing the Japan national kit, and it is the Chelsea kit, except for it's got the little hash stripes down, but it still looks
it's all too similar.
I just like the Puma makes sexy stuff, man.
Makes sexy stuff.
They do. New Balance too, right? Don't they do the Liverpool? They make cool stuff for Liverpool, and I'm always jealous. I got a Liverpool fan that I work with. I'm always like, that's a sweet polo. That's a sweet man. New Balance does some cool stuff. Although I think they're switching to Nike too.
I thought I heard something like that.
Yeah, not that it matters, but it does because I want cool stuff so I can wear. I just need collared shirts for work, so I don't.
Yeah.
Adidas doesn't make great ones.
No,
I like Adidas stuff. I'm partial. I mean, as I wear a old United Nike kit.
Yeah, you were both. Yeah, I've got the old Nike Arsenal kit on right now.
But I mean, I don't know.
Pardon me.
just don't make everybody's look exactly the same. That's
Throw
all.
a collar, do this, do that. I don't know, whatever, man. Give him the seatbelt across. No one does that anymore.
Give him the old, give him the old. What was it? Peruvian slash.
Tottenham had it a few years ago. Yeah. It's still my favorite tweet I've ever seen. Look, they have a seatbelt for when their season crashes. It's still
that's pretty good.
It's still kind of lickable.
Right. I was gonna say, still kind of applies.
Although, which season? We'll talk about that in a minute because there's one that's going pretty good for him. So with that, I suppose we actually should move to. Well, we have been talking about a little soccer in China, but move on to some of the Premier League football. We're talking about a few matches today. Speaking of the Adidas wearing Man United, let's talk about the fact how they lost this game. They won 2-1 against West Ham.
You ain't wrong. I don't know if you were expecting a different answer out of me, but they did not deserve to win this one.
Poor West Ham won that game and lost it.
Oh, poor West Ham. You ragged on West Ham all year.
But I didn't say they're as bad as Man United. They're just terrible. Do you know how fun it would have been if West Ham had won? Oh, man. Right? For us, not you, but for us, yeah. Manchester United looked rough. So here's my question for this match. It, to be honest, has nothing to do with the specifics of this match. 2
pens by Pogba. I don't know if you mentioned that. And they were both pens, in my opinion. Yeah. The first one was could be a little bit soft, but I think it was still a pen. And then the second was a stone cold pen. But yeah, West Ham certainly played the much better game.
And of course, by hook or by crook, we're going to talk about some other teams that just needed to win and they made it happen. And they pulled it off. So, hey, it's 3 points. You need 3 points any way you can get them. But Man United has been, they were just stellar as soon as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I haven't practiced it much lately, so it's hard for me to get out quickly, came in. They're not as stellar right now. Are any of the things that Mourinho probably used as an excuse still maybe true? Because he said he had some trouble with getting people and consistency out of them. And, when Pogba's on, he's on. When he's not really, I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of the shininess is worn off.
Yeah.
And the problems that Man United do have will continue to creep in. The excitement is no longer patching those holes.
I feel like you need a really good offseason.
I think if Rashford had a better match in this one, it wouldn't have been a problem. But he dragged a few wide that were, he just didn't have that great a game. And And I think that really helped sink the run of play style goals that they could have had.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with you guys on a whole lot of that. I think the luster of the new car, if you will, has kind of worn off a bit. I do.
We all said the same thing in a different way.
Right, exactly. I do still think that Solskjaer is the right choice. I think you should have waited until just at the end of the year. So like May 13th, when the last game was played, then you announce him. I think it still gives you plenty of time, but I don't necessarily mind it. And
I know, because it's
still
a tough
signing him out.
spot.
And
Yeah.
I don't think it's so much Solskjaer, because remember, he still has the same players to which Jose had. And some of those players, a lot of them are not up to par, and we're going to have to get rid of a lot of them and sell them, because they're not necessarily bad players, but they're not up to the par at where they should be, or to where a United player should be.
Or just aren't fitting the team. I think you could see Alexis Sanchez go to another place somewhere in Europe and have a great...
Right.
Well, we've been saying that for
right.
More than
He, and a little bit of fairness to him, has been dealing with injuries and hasn't got a good run of games to play on that left wing, which is hard because right now you have Martial there to play on that left wing, and even Rashford to that extent sometimes. But I also think that injuries have now hampered the team.
Yeah.
Now, every team has injuries, but I do think there were some key injuries. The two key injuries for me that really affected everything and that really hurt Pogba, who was creating, scoring goals, making assists so much, was Herrera and Matic. Those two injuries really, really hurt the team because they were the center midfield duo that helped and allowed Pogba to create, to play higher up the pitch, and to play with a little bit of freedom. Since then, he is now having to basically be an all-around, all-around box-to-box midfielder, where that was mainly Herrera. Herrera went box-to-box. He put in tackles. He was all over the place. He was a little fly. Matic was the one that linked play. He was the one that sat back, protected Lindelof and Smalling, but then linked that to Herrera, Pogba, and the midfield to allow us going forward. I think the Martial injury was also key, but we still had Rashford and Lukaku was coming off the bench and playing well. But for me, those were two really big injuries, and that's when things started to go south. I think we did get quite fortunate against PSG, and we have been fortunate in the game that was played here with West Ham. We didn't play the better game out of this, but we got the points, which is good and what we need right now. And Pogba converted two very good pens that he didn't do his patented run up. He just ran up to it and just stuck them home.
Do you think they'll top for it?
I don't know. I certainly hope they can. I think being this now being the single source of games, I think will help them and could hurt some others, because all the others that they're vying for to get in those last two places now have all advanced in their European cups. So I think we are in a good place. We do have a very tough schedule. We play we play Everton on Sunday, then we play City midweek, and then we play Chelsea on the following Sunday. We do end on a fairly decent run.
Chelsea match will be a huge. I mean, that's literally probably playing for top four.
We do end on a good run with Huddersfield and Cardiff as the last two matches.
Unless Cardiff is fighting for its life, which could literally be happening on its last day.
Very true. I do think that one's at home, though, for us.
Oh, my gosh. If the last game at home for Man United is a Cardiff that must win to stay in, and a Man United that must win to be in the top four, that would be so good.
Yes, that is a at-home game for us.
Come on, that would be so good.
Now, I do think we have to roll into the summer with the plan. I think that's why Oleg is now behind the wheel, is to hopefully put together that plan. Hopefully do it with Phelan and Carrick and Kieran. Like he needs to put together a plan of who he wants to bring in. I think we need, and I think he said it the other day, we need a new player in basically every spot of the field, besides goalie, of course. De Gea hasn't looked the best this year, but he's still been outstanding, one of the best in the world. But we need a new center back to come in. We need a right back to come in. We need a midfielder or two to come in. We need a winger to come in, and then I think we can use somebody else up front. Whether
Are you talking about Orlando City or Man United right now?
right?
Yeah,
that's absolutely. Wait,
true.
Where we? Oh God, that sounds familiar. Everything you just said.
Right. So I'm not. Yes, we haven't been playing the best. There's still chances for the top four. They've gone down in as number of weeks because we haven't picked up all the points that we should have, and we have a very tough run coming up. But we need to focus now and finish out the season strong, and then roll into the summer and make some moves. Even if we don't make the top four this year, I'm glad with who the manager is, and I think he can bring back a little bit of that Sir Alex, Old Trafford, winger, fast style, run and gun type of play. I think he can bring that back.
It's funny. I had some questions. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say I have a question for you on that. So I was thinking about that the other day. If that is the case, why do you keep Lukaku in the summer transfer?
I think we will because I do think he can be an asset, especially an asset off the bench.
But he's not that type of striker for you.
No, but he can act as that Fellaini that Mourinho used to bring in, but much more lethal.
I think it depends on like if you get into the Champions League, having another
has
that might be an answer. Like
right.
you know, I mean, obviously, even if you're in UEFA, you'd still want to, or Europa, you'd still want to.
Right,
that still might be applicable.
He's still a very talented player, very very talented.
However,
player.
to Ron's point, though.
He doesn't step up in big games.
But there's some folks that would drop some money on him that you guys could
okay, but are we going to get what we paid for him? Probably not. Pogba would be the only one that we would get more than what we paid for him for. Because at the
Liverpool
time, that's
might,
like
Everton might pay you twice what they sold him for.
If they're dumb enough to do that, then we should be smart enough to sell. But I don't know if that's going to be the case. But
I'm just curious because he doesn't fit into that style, right? He doesn't really fit into that aggressive wing play with balls coming into the box from those. He's the guy that tries to poach those sloppy goals, taking 1-on-1 or 1-on-2.
No, but I do think that Ole can tap into by wing play doesn't necessarily mean that he has to play on the wing. Yes, Lukaku's played on that right wing now. But the times that we've had that wing play, the time that we've had the wing play and the time that Solskjaer has been there, we have usually played during that time. We played with one up front, and that was either Van Nistelrooy sharing him, or Ole. You know, and then we went to two up front if we had to make a sub, or we altered it from there. Before that, we played two up front with Cole and Ince. So was it Ince? Like, Lord, I can't remember. But anyway, so I think he can be an asset. I don't think he's an asset to start. I don't think he's somebody to necessarily start all the games. I could see him if we end up making Europa League starting a lot of those games or playing a lot in cups. And then that's also depth for Premier League games. And he's a threat to come off the bench. Like I said, unlike Fellaini, who is just a big body and can get in the box and kind of bully people around, Lukaku is that big body, but much better with the ball at his feet and much better in front of goal with putting the ball in the back of the net. So I think it can be a threat. I would like to see another number 9 come in though, and whether that is in Icardi, whether that is a Timo Werner, which I think he's actually going to Bayern now. You know, it's somebody else to kind of push Rashford and push Lukaku, and there's a bit of a competition there to push those guys, and then you get the best out of all of them in theory. And then we need somebody on the wing, like a Jadon Sancho would be a fantastic signing if we can do that, because then you have ideally your front three then is Rashford down the center, Sancho off to the right, and Martial off to the left. That's a lot of speed, talent, and young talent up front coming at you if we can pull that off.
And as long as you have a midfield with good enough vision and distribution of the ball.
We need a really tough midfielder ideally a Michael Carrick right now is kind of who we could use. He's not coming out of retirement. But we need somebody that is going to allow Pogba to be free. The goal, I think, is you build around him, and that starts with sitting 2 people behind him doing all the midfield work to allow him to do whatever he wants, because when he is allowed to do what he wants, he can change games and he can run games. You don't ask Messi to sit back and defend. That's why he has Sergio Busquets and he has Xavi and Iniesta.
Like you said, that's why you put the team around him so that
Right.
And I think you have to. There's a lot of United fans out there that don't want to build a team around him. They want to sell him. They want to make as much as they can off him because he goes in Madrid. But I think you build around him, and I think good things will come because we saw what happened when he had that 10-game run of just freedom. He scored goals. He had assists. He dictated games. That's what he can do.
Well, and your earlier statement might have given us our best segue to the next match. And by that, I mean your earlier statement of a team that basically needs to replace everything, everywhere, and find a 9. Chelsea.
Ugh.
Probably won't be able to because they're still on a ban.
We don't know what's going to happen yet.
So we don't know that yet.
So Chelsea has the chance to go to
They're
Liverpool.
under appeal.
Right, but
Yeah,
I thought it's still upheld until the appeal goes
it's
through.
upheld until they're upset about that. It's upheld until the appeal. So our next match, Chelsea goes to visit Liverpool at Anfield. That's a tall order, but they're basically showing up to throw a monkey wrench into this situation. And
We forgot the monkey wrench.
they don't. Liverpool gets a good win, and not only a good win, but like Mo Salah, that goal, good Lord.
Yeah.
Maybe goal of the year.
Oh, beautiful goal. Yeah.
Like if they win, in terms of when it needed to come, the 3 points they needed at the moment, because the prior match this in the day was Man City leaping Liverpool in points. Liverpool had to win this match to stay on top. They do. Mo Salah kind of breaks a slight drought that he had with a crazy good goal.
And it didn't even look like he was going to.
Oh, man. Like, it was,
Because
he rocketed that thing.
He
too.
missed so many.
Yeah.
Was saved by the Chelsea keeper.
And now watch out. If he turns around and
Which he had a good game. All things
I think
said.
the Chelsea keeper had the best game of the entire Chelsea squad.
Probably the only reason it's not 5-0.
Correct.
I mean, like, right. The thing is that, like, but Chelsea, and I'm not even like poking fun at this point. They look, what's that word you always like? Shambolic. There was like,
Thank you.
That was rough.
Yeah.
I don't think they looked bad in the first half. I thought they set up to defend, they set up to counter, and they did that for a large portion of the game.
They just forgot about the countering part.
Liverpool just kept pushing and pushing and pushing.
But that's dangerous, right? You keep pushing, you're on the front. That's when someone can counter, and they just didn't do it. And who's your striker you hired that can't do nothing?
Higuain.
85 years old, or like.
Which I don't think he started. Didn't he come on in the second half?
He did, and his impact was negative.
It was not.
Wasn't
that great?
That's not a good signing. Already, I'm sorry. The hashtag sorry out stuff is obviously still in full mode. That signing was not a good sign. That was not.
Well,
I mean,
I feel like it's one of those things that the idea is really good,
right?
And you take the gamble because he is a world-class striker, but much like the other world-class players we've had, they just don't fit into the team. Now, I'm not saying it's particularly their fault, but our team doesn't show up, and when they don't show up, they don't seem to care. I think between our keeper and Higuain, those are the two, I think, and Hudson-Odoi, I think those are the three that have the most amount of passion. Hazard actually had a pretty decent match in this one. He just couldn't find the net. And it seems to me that Hazard is the only one who dictates how well the team plays. If he's having an off day, it's like the entire team goes, well, we're just having an off day.
Yeah, it seems to hinge on him completely.
Yeah. And how long is that going to last? And I mean, we're already seeing the issues from that. And I think Sarri is not doing us a favor by changing our style of play to more accommodate the players he has instead of playing his. He's busy playing his vision at the expense of the team, and I think that's pretty sad.
He's just waiting for that balloon or whatever his buyout or is when he gets canned.
Right.
He knows he's not he doesn't like, obvious. I mean, I can't imagine they keep him. I don't know who you get necessarily, but again, I still think Lampard's are the best idea. But he's not going to stay, even if he was given the option. I can't imagine. He seems a little. I don't want to say checked out. He's just kind of okay. We're not going to change. Just do my system. We're not. You know what I mean? Like not trying to work.
He's really trying
out.
to fit square pegs in round holes.
Yeah,
it's just not working out.
And I don't think Higuain was a bad signing. He hasn't produced in terms of the box score numbers, but he has done good things off the ball. He will open up space for Hazard by making good runs. He will hold the ball up okay. He'll make some good passes. I don't think he's been terrible. But he doesn't have a whole lot of help, and the team really revolves around Hazard. And if he's having an off game, or if teams hone in and really target him and seclude him, he is the one that can sit in the center of the field, make moves, create on his own, open up space, pass. But if you lock him down and allow him only one or two of those a game, there's not really anybody else on Chelsea's team that's going to kill you. There's some good players and some nice defenders and some young midfielders. But other than that, Pedro is 400 years old. Willian looks like he has 1 foot out the door. And who else?
Hudson-Odoi, Loftus-Cheek.
Right, young midfielders that are nice, but they're not necessarily going to open up that space, play a Pogba ball over the top or anything like that. So,
right.
And Giroud's just, damn, he's good looking. That's about all.
He is, though.
Although he's had a bunch more spark this season than last season, and he certainly had more spark than Higuain has had.
When you look that good, man, you don't get put on the field and not still look good.
Like
you try, man. Yeah.
We just continue to have major problems. And the team, excuse me, the team definitely feels like when you were playing soccer, either pickup or like, on a team when you were a kid, and the coach said, okay, whenever you get to the ball, pass it to this guy.
Yeah.
And then that kid runs it down the field and just scores every time. Right. So the team is basically set up to give this kid the ball. Well, the team is basically set up to give Hazard the ball.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Excuse me. I will say in this game, I thought a big turning point for Chelsea was when Rudiger went out with injury. Yeah. I thought he was having a good run of form and a good game. And as soon as he went out, those 2 goals happened. And Liverpool needed to win and they got themselves back on top of the table, and they need to keep winning because right now they're a game up and Man City have a game in hand. So if Liverpool drop even a point, Man City win, they win. If Liverpool drops no points and Man City win out, they win. So got to keep just winning.
Yeah, Liverpool played a great game. As always, we would expect them to. Going back to Chelsea real quick, the question has been raised, are they just trying to hang out in the top 6 here, but really going for the EFL? I mean, they had a crackerjack game today in
EFL.
You mean Europa?
Sorry, yeah, Europa League.
I was like, no, they're not trying to go down to the league below.
But their defense almost gave the entire thing away. It ended 4-3 today for Chelsea when they were completely crushing the match. So
I think the best way I can put it is they have 1 foot in each. They're just kind of...
Yeah, it doesn't feel like...
And neither one is very strong.
Exactly.
Very
They just put one in one in there, and there we go. Okay.
I feel like they just roll the dice every morning and go, okay, who do we have today? Let's try this.
Actually, you know what I feel? They feel like they're playing one big game of, is it hopscotch? Or, where you go down the line and 1 foot, 2 foot, 1 foot, 2 foot, 2 foot, 1 foot, and you do that. And they just kind of, depending on the week, is whenever they decide to have one or both feet all in, and then 1 week where they decide to have both feet in each. So, yeah, it's just, or 1 foot in each. So, yeah, I don't know.
It's really weird, but it is a pleasure. Even though my team lost, it was a pleasure to watch this game at 2 a.m. and watch Liverpool just have fun. Because Liverpool hasn't. I mean, when I really started following the Premier League, Liverpool wasn't that great a team. They were not having all that much fun And it's actually kind of fun to see how well they're doing.
And Jurgen Klopp is amazing.
Yeah.
He's just good. And his press conferences, like, he's so calm. Do you hear him? The whole, I think we can move the slip issue behind. There was a slip and we still won.
Smart.
So we're done.
Although there was this beautiful video that I found on Facebook or something where they had the Gerrard slip in like a whole bunch of different scenarios and it kept cutting between all these. My favorite one was the Van Gaal fall. And it had Gerrard coming in with the slip when he fell with the board a while ago.
Oh, funny.
But, no, Klopp is great, and I'm sad that he's with that team. I loved him when he was at Dortmund. I can't say it was fun to watch them, but they did play a very good game. And
I just like watching any team that's firing and having fun because their creativity is so much better.
Man City could still totally win the Premier League, but when I watch, I feel like Liverpool's still better. As good as Man City is because of what you just said.
Yeah.
How much fun they're having. Like, they're still playing wide open.
Yeah.
Going and attacking. Like,
you could tell how much they care.
Do you know what's insane, though?
What?
Liverpool could lose and come in second with only losing one game.
And it would have been to Man City.
It would have been to Man City, yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
How crazy is that?
It's awesome.
And they would have finished on like a 97 points, I think, is what the highest would have been. So they would have.
No, they can end on 97. By losing that game, they can't get 100. If they win out, they can hit 97.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If they win out, they can hit 97.
Right.
That's nuts, right?
Yep.
So our next match, moving on, on Radio Watford. Watford hosts the Arsenal.
There was some boxing going on in this one.
Yeah, so this is a game of minute 10 and minute 11. In minute 10, Aubameyang kicked the crap out of the ball and scored a goal. This was a hard.
No.
He blocks the goalkeeper.
Yeah, it was a stupid. The ball got passed back to Ben Foster. He tries to take it back across his goal and just doesn't move fast enough and doesn't decide to kick the ball fast enough. And Aubameyang just smart heads up play. Just his pace gets him there. And all he does is block the ball from getting kicked out, but it just ricochets back into the net.
Total goalkeeper fail. Just Or like when I try to play FIFA online against people, and every time I kick the ball at roll, but they just intercept it for my goal. I'm like, I don't every time. I'm terrible. Then the 11-year-old is laughing at me and like a British accent. That was awful. So they give a goal to Arsenal, and Watford's playing kind of hot, and then they play a little too hot. Is the next minute after that total error gives Arsenal the lead. Troy Deeney elbows. I'm losing who? Torreira in the face. In the face. When it's all said and done, looking back, it's not. If he had gotten like a yellow, probably no one would complain.
It's a red.
The
card.
red could. Some people feel it's a little harsh, but at the end of the day, the rules are if you're striking someone with your arm in the face,
you cheated.
That's a red card, and you get a red card. Now, thing is, you'd never know Watford was down 10 men because they played the crap out of the rest of the game.
The better game.
Yeah, Arsenal had the better possession. And in the end, they had more shots, but like it's because Watford just kept going for it.
Well, did you see my headlines for my game and then yours?
We won was the Man United one, and Arsenal's was we won. We also won.
Yeah.
And again, just like I said with the Man United one, at the end of the day, you need 3 points any way that you can get them, and the Arsenal of old would lose this game, or at the worst get a draw. And this game is a perfect example of the difference between the last few years of Wenger compared to now under Unai Emery. That is a game, as nervy as it was to watch, Arsenal would have blown as to a draw or loss under Wenger.
And right now, the gamble's paying off for Emery because the lineup, you looked at it and you're like, wait, what are they doing? Lacazette on the bench. Ramsey was on the bench, I believe.
He's trying to win the.
I don't know. It was just a very weird defensive.
Well, what he's doing is what happened today.
Odd lineup.
He's trying to. The Europa League is more in their destiny is more in their hands there maybe than it is the Premier League, right? They can try and end in the top four, but it's tight. And they did it. They won today against Napoli 1-0, and they beat them prior 1-0. So they won on aggregate 0-3 against Napoli. So I mean, I think that's all that is. That's why Lacazette and Roy's being set, because he wants that Europa League title as well, or as well as ending in the top four. So.
Yeah, it was a quite an interesting lineup for that.
If he could come in his first year, and even if he only ends up in fifth, but he gets the Europa League trophy, that would be such an enormous turnaround from the previous 4 years under Wenger with Arsenal. And to now, I mean, that's, so I don't blame him for going hard for that. Though it said is a bit of a gamble, because if you don't get that, your chance into the Champions League is to obviously in the top four. Although right now, anything could happen with those three teams, but Arsenal seems to be on a better trek than Chelsea and Man United, and Arsenal has the easier rest of the games, I believe.
Yeah, I think you guys are certainly firing much more consistently.
It's still very close.
Well, yeah, and I mean, don't say easier run, because last time everybody Arsenal fans said that, they lost to Everton. So
I don't think Everton's an easy game, though.
No, but an easier run, and then they turn around and lose to Fulham this week.
Just lost to annihilated.
Yeah, they lost to Fulham. But you guys are also battling in two fronts, so it'd be interesting to see what Emery does now in the next. Because I think he is trying to go for that Europa League title, but you also have the league here to worry about, and it's a gamble, and let's see if it pays off for him in the end.
Well, even just you get to the quarterfinal, or you get to a semifinal, get to a final, and even if it's just Europa, that's still, and you end in fifth, that's still a better season than Wenger had in the Europa League for 2 years. You know what I mean? Like, it's an improvement. No Arsenal fans upset about Unai Emery. They're happy. They're glad he's the coach for next season.
So you think that's an improvement, but I can't remember if he considered that what Mourinho did that year, where he got fifth but won the Europa League. That was an improvement from the Van Gaal years and from the Moyes years.
Yeah. So yes.
Yeah.
But not in terms of. Yes, in terms of silverware. No, in terms of how badly he was fracturing the team at the time.
Yeah, and we also said
that not at that time. He wasn't.
Sure he was.
What are you talking about? Saying, of course, I thought it was a good idea, because we all said. Well, our prediction is Man United's got the championship next year, because Mourinho got him into Champions League through Europa, and this, by the way he runs, he'll win the Premier League next year, and then he'll get fired in his third year.
He got second that year, and then. Yeah.
But to be honest, no, we all thought he would be good. Yeah, that is an improvement. So I thought it was an improvement for Man United. You don't think it's an improvement?
Oh, if Arsenal get to the final, don't win, and then get in fifth, I think it's an improvement, but a disappointing one.
Oh, sure. You won't. Well, yeah, you'd rather win, but
so the gamble is
under Wenger,
top four or win the entire
Wenger,
thing.
Whether it was Champions League or Europa, you only got so far and you were out very quick. It did not last long, and in those last few years.
But either way, it's still a good season for Arsenal. The morale is way different. The style of play is way different. So even if
people thought this year could have been bad, new coach, you know what I mean? Like, it could have been an awful year.
So even if you come in second in Europa, or just come short of the final, and you're in the top six of Premier League, it's still a better year.
Yeah, you're not throwing a party to celebrate that fact at a bar. But as an Arsenal fan, you're like, all right, cool. I can actually say I'm pretty excited to see next season. Like, I feel like we got some. Let's see what happens in the offseason. We have made some good moves where for years they just didn't. So yeah, no, I'm fine. I'd love to. Look, me. I want this to. Every Arsenal fan, we want to get enough points in Tottenham to drop some so we can sit above them in the table. We don't want fourth, we want third.
Yeah.
That's really what we want.
It's been back and forth between the 3, 4, 5, and 6 teams. It's been altered so much in the past 4 weeks that it's just everybody's changing and chopping. And
the important thing is that Ron and I's team are above Man United right now. Yeah. So as we move on to the
right
next
now,
match,
barely, right now,
barely,
season ain't over yet.
So speaking of right now, The other,
Battle for relegation.
Man, so obviously on the bottom we have Huddersfield at 20. We have Fulham at 19, guaranteed already regulation. Mathematically, they are done. Above that, you have Cardiff City, who was actually not too far from being mathematically out. They had to win these games. They played Brighton Hove Albion, who is ranked 17th, just above them, with 33 points. And so they win this match. And that is a huge win away at Brighton Hove Albion. They win 2-0. And all of a sudden, what was because, Burnley won the other day and kind of got comfortably away from Cardiff, beat them and said, okay, now it looks like they'll be safe. All of a sudden, Brighton Hove, who was sitting above Burnley and thinking, okay, we're down there, but they are now like squeaky bum time. It is like you are freaking out because Cardiff might have more in the tank to play for right now. This is dangerous. A team like Cardiff is just dangerous. Like I said, even the last match might be against Man United. If they are fighting for their life, that is not a guaranteed win for Man United. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like that is.
If Cardiff City stay alive, Neil Warnock should be manager of the year.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Oh.
Because what he's doing with name me one player on Cardiff City right now.
No, I mean, you're not wrong.
Like,
it's tough. It's tough with Jurgen Klopp sitting up there, but you're
right.
You could pull this off.
If he pulls this off and he stays up, he is manager of the year by far because he is doing something that nobody expected them to do. And I'd have to go back and look, but I was thinking that we had them going right back down.
Yeah.
And they still could, yes. They still could, but
they have a hard schedule.
I'll tell you what, though, if they go down
this
with
was
him,
a big win here. This was a 6-pointer. This got them to within 2 of Brighton and 5 of Southampton. Brighton, on current form, Brighton looks like they could go down. Cardiff City has gotten points, and they have won, and they have now started to roll a little bit.
Right now, if you were a betting man, I would rather, if you were making me do this, I'd rather put my money on Cardiff than Brighton Hove. Because Cardiff has showed more life, even in that Burnley match, like they have shown more life than Brighton Hove has.
I don't know. You look at the schedule coming up. Cardiff's got Liverpool, Fulham, Crystal Palace, then Man United.
Fulham and Crystal Palace are totally winnable. And look, well, then the other question, who's Brighton Hove got?
I'm going there right now.
Right? So because those are 2 winnable matches.
Brighton Hove, Wolves, Tottenham, Newcastle, Arsenal, Man City.
That is a way harder schedule. That's why Brighton Hove themselves right now. Say that again.
Wolves, Tottenham, Newcastle, Arsenal, Man City. So that is definitely the harder schedule between the 2.
That's why Brighton's freaking out. And again, Cardiff could still lose those winnable games. It's not a guarantee, but man, like those, and even for Liverpool next week, I need those 3 points to stay on top of Man City becomes much dicier when you are just playing for your life. Do I think a Liverpool win? Absolutely. But still, it's not, you cannot take your eye off that game. But that is a way harder schedule. Brighton Hove could easily lose every single one of those games.
And if you're playing at home, they're doing it with Junior Hoylett, Omar Niasse, Callum Patterson, Bobby Reed, Sol Bamba, Camarasa. They're playing it with all of these players who have failed at other Premier League clubs that they have now gotten on loan or have brought in. Harry Arter on loan from Bournemouth. They're doing it with all of these players that are...
Harry Arter is your star.
Right. They're, what he's doing with this team is absolutely...
So we're all...
awesome.
We're all Cardiff fans for the rest of this run, right?
Sure.
I want to see this.
That's so crazy.
That would be such a crazy end. And I kind of, now that I've said it, Ferris, I'm sorry. I wanted it to be the last game of the season, and Cardiff has to win to stay in, and Man United has to win to stay in the top 4.
What a game that would be.
Oh, man. All of a sudden, Ferris disappears in the middle of our, where are you at? We got to do our end of year pod.
We'll see. Hopefully, we'll be nice and secured in the top 4 at that point. And then if we get down to that,
it's a Moo Thunder day.
It's a butternut
no.
It's a bet. It's a bad beer bet, buddy.
Oh, just no.
We've got to find we've got to go get some West Velitrin, and if Man City or Man United win, he gets the West Velitrin if they lose. He gets the Moose Thunder.
Yeah.
You have to show me the West Verleitern. It has to be here. And if it's sitting here, right here, then I might make that
I
bet.
saved some bottles. I got my bottling equipment. We could rebottle the
You
Moose
just
Thunder, the
rebottle.
West Verleitern.
Yes, I bet you could.
This doesn't taste like I remember.
Man, this is...
Although,
I would like to hope that my palate's not that bad to where I taste it. And I'm like, man, this is... I think I just sat outside for a little too long.
If those parameters work out, that should be the bet.
If those parameters work out and it is a West Verleitern or a Moo Thunder,
I
there would be others.
Told you we can still make
Win,
this
and
happen.
you get West Verleitern. Lose, and you get Butternuts Brewery. Ugh. God, makes me want to yak thinking about it.
But what a fun year so far. As everybody knows, tight at the top between Liverpool and Man City. Liverpool on 85 points, Man City on 83.
And then Titan 3, 4, 5,
Right.
6.
So tight.
Like
67, 66, 66, 64 in terms of the points. Tottenham, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man United, 3 through 6. And then you have a bit of a gap. One thing I do want to say is Bournemouth and West Ham look like they're staying up again this year. Both hit the 40-point mark.
Bournemouth, a huge win. 5-0 over.
And they got them to 41
they
points. They beat Hudders? No.
No.
Who do they play?
But I was just like, good Lord, man. Like, they had a great game.
So Wolves?
Yes, right?
Right? Was that
Yes, because it was actually like a really big win. It wasn't
No,
just,
Southampton.
Southampton.
Which they did not need that. No.
Stop. 3-1. Southampton beats Wolves.
Okay, so then who?
Bournemouth plays Brighton Hove and Albion and blasts them 5-0.
That's right.
Okay, yeah. Because that was the game on the weekend.
That's right.
And then
that's
this
right.
was the game midweek. Yeah. And then you have Palace and Burnley sitting on 39 points. They're probably staying
They're
up.
fine.
Newcastle 38. Odds are they're fine. So it's really Southampton, Brighton, and Cardiff that are battling it out to see which two teams will survive.
Brighton Hove ain't winning out on that list of teams we just mentioned because that's what have to happen for Newcastle to be in
They
trouble.
need something, yeah.
Yeah, man, it's fun. This should be fun right down to the wire. If it really is a last day championship decision,
That'd be fun.
oh man, that'd be glorious. Glorious.
What's the last day of the season?
Sunday the 12th, I think.
Yeah, so make sure you're free, gents. We'll order the pies.
Yeah, I should be free.
Gotta remember to pick them up on Saturday because the pie shop's closed on Sunday. Oh yeah, I better not wear a Arsenal shirt in there. The
still in
owner
town,
will
Ron?
kick me out.
Yeah.
Cool.
I leave the 15th.
Sweet.
Oh, that is just beautiful.
The
timing.
12th, it is.
We might need to take the 13th off for recovery.
Yeah.
Right?
And then we have that, and then at 2:30 in Atlanta, we can watch on TV probably Atlanta United versus Orlando City. We might actually get a win.
We
in
got a
Atlanta,
whole
the way
day
they're
of
playing.
soccer.
That'll be a battle for the mediocre.
I thought you said battle for the bulge is what I thought you were going to say. At
No,
first.
battle for the mediocre.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, woof. So real quick, we'll talk about, there's not many games to talk about, but Champions League, some big games. Barcelona hosts Manchester United, and man, Messi whooped that tail.
Yeah.
3-0.
Yeah, Phil, you were
Messi
right. I was in a bad mood that day, but yeah, no.
I don't think you've been a bad. I mean, look, yeah, your team lost, but dude, Barcelona is not
Now,
a bad team.
I will say the first two goals from Barcelona weren't necessarily Messi-esque. It was a turnover by Young that was just so stupid. And as captain and as a player of your caliber, just clear the damn ball, please.
Not only that, like
Just
De
clear the
Gea,
damn ball.
Not a good
Just
day.
clear your lines, get it the hell out of there.
Yeah.
And then the second one was a shot from outside the box. Good shot, but should have easily been saved. And De Gea just kind of squeaks it. And which you can't, he's had a fantastic
He's world
year.
class.
He's world class.
Yeah.
And does not happen that often from him. And then a sad to say, a lovely Coutinho goal.
That Coutinho goal was
which was like a
British.
patented Coutinho goal that
And
we
that's
saw
what
in the
really
Premier
ruined
League.
Ferris's day.
Yeah.
Oh yes, it absolutely did. I was not happy, but you know, getting PSG and Barca in our knockout stage games.
There's a group of death, man.
Yeah, but you got
Those
past
are two very tough. Well, we passed PSG, but we needed some luck there, and they didn't have Neymar and some other key players, and we kind of squeaked by them. And then we did all right at home against Barca, but then when we go to Camp Nou, it's just a different game, and we out.
The big news though of the day was the Juventus Ajax game, or
Man.
Ajax, I prefer to call them.
Holy
Ajax.
game from Ajax.
Whoa. This is so great. They're my Champions League team. just because there's no one else really I would want to root for.
Just some young players, some fascinating, like fun young passing style of play. There was something
so
they posted.
creative.
Yeah, and there was something they posted on a whole bunch of the socials that was them passing it from basically the back all the way up and just creating this awesome chance. I don't think it went in, but there was like 20 just touch passes, just boom, 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 just right up the field on Juventus.
Yep.
Not like Smojo's team and like the fourth tier of Netherlands ball. Like this is Juventus that they did this against.
Yep.
And I mean, they absolutely deserve to be advancing to the semifinals of the Champions
Another one
League.
of those teams where the fact that they are having fun makes them much more dangerous, much more creative, and just play as such a great team. They're just rolling. You can tell how much fun they're having.
Oh, yeah.
And in some ways, that makes up for the fact that there's not gigantic star power.
We got some, well, okay. So we've got, as we move to the semifinals.
Oh, wait, real quick.
Well, and
that Cristiano Ronaldo header was pretty badass.
Yeah, that was
right.
pretty.
Oh, and by the way, they're doing this while still being in a fight in their own league. Right now, they are top of the table in the Eredivisie, but they're tied with PSV Eindhoven on 74 points. They're in a Man City Liverpool-esque battle here.
That's
in the
what's
Eredivisie,
nuts about
and they're
the
still
team,
playing well in this. They had a full side out for this and a full side on
But the
Saturday
teams
or
that are
Sunday
left
they
in the Champions, that's what's crazy about it. Like a lot of them are fighting for other stuff. We'll get over to Tottenham stuff, but they're fighting to look. They can still get knocked out of the top four in the Premier League. So it's a crazy. This is a fun run. Who's left in the Champions League, both in their own domestic leagues as well as within the Champions League.
Absolutely.
So the other side of it, the Premier League heavy side, was Wednesday. Liverpool got the draw that anyone would have wanted against having Porto, and they just, what was the final aggregate? 6-1. They beat them 4-1 playing away at Porto, but that.
Yeah, this was
man again. Liverpool that just looks so good.
Liverpool throughout the Champions League has been you get a goal and you get a goal.
Salah had an awesome goal. Yeah, he just scored again in this game. I mean, he had the awesome goal. You know what I mean? So,
I still think Mane has had the better overall season for Liverpool than Salah has.
Fantastic.
I tell you what, this would be a good tie for them because I think they play Barca in the next round.
And I think if Salah, let's say he managed to get the golden boot, would be the first guy to tell you that Mane was better because he got that boot because of him. You know what I mean? Like Mane's had an amazing season.
And then the match of the Champions League week.
This game was bananas. Man City at home against the Hotspurs, and they managed to pull a win, but it is not a good enough win. Because really this shadows back to the original game of Tottenham hosting Man City and Tottenham winning 1-0 in that match, right? Yes. In a game that people felt like Man City did not play great in and should have done more, comes back to bite them as they win 4-3 against Tottenham. But because of the aggregate, it's not good enough.
No, because of the away goals.
Well, the away goals, yes.
Right, and this game was
because
crazy
the aggregate
because
was 4-4, so it was the away
they
goals.
broke a new Champions League record by scoring 5 goals between them in 21 minutes of play.
That's amazing.
In 11 minutes of play, there was 4 goals or something insane like that.
And these are
3
two
goals.
teams who Man City scores a lot, but they're also known for a great defense. And, I mean, this is just a crazy scoreline for these two to have against each other.
And for some reason, Tottenham always they didn't win this game, but they've won a lot of games in that time frame that Harry Kane hasn't been in there. It just looks like sometimes they play a little bit freer and a little bit more expansive.
That's a really good point.
I mean, Harry Kane's world class, so it's weird saying that, but usually, like, they've won the last, 5 or 10, I think that was 10 games that he has not been in. Now, they didn't win this game, but they did advance by scoring some very big goals
you bring up a
away
good
from
point.
home.
We did not talk about the Tottenham game of the Premier League, but
they won 4-0.
Lucas with his hat trick. No Kane.
Just out of nowhere.
Fantastic, looking play. And I'm like, oh man, Harry Kane's out for the season. Bring him back, please, because that's what Arsenal apparently needed. It's just bizarre to me that Harry Kane, because obviously Harry Kane's good, but you take him out of the equation, they've been really, really good. Mm-hmm. It's coming out of the slump that they had been in.
Yeah, just what a fun match though, and an early sub here. I think it was Sissoko had to go off, or it was somebody. But anyway, it was like a defensive midfielder sub, and Fernando Llorente comes in, and I think he ended up getting that third goal, which proved to push them.
And he fought
over.
He fought so hard all match. He missed 2, maybe 3 others, but just closely. And I think one was off the crossbar, and the other 2 were just wide. But they could have won this game.
Yes, and I know his third goal is now under a little bit of scrutiny because it appears that it went off of his arm. And the Champions League didn't have that angle of it.
Yeah, but
if you get a chance, watch it, and you tell me if that
he still managed to.
If you call that one back. Look, he knew nothing about it, and did it hit his arm? Yes, but there was absolutely there was no movement, there was no nothing. It was by his side, and
you know what?
That would have been very, very harsh.
They had VAR. They have it, and they didn't.
Like, and I mean by your, I mean, like, it was like attached to his body. Like, his arm was like sewn to his body there. It wasn't like he had it even out away from his body at all. It was really tight because he was trying to jump and trying to head it and kind of missed it, and then it just went off his arm and in. But it's not like he went like that, or like, that being like he tried to push it into goal or anything like that.
It wasn't obvious that he used his arm to score.
No, so yes, but I agree. I think he was deserved to get that goal because he had worked very hard since coming into the game.
And if you're a Man City fan that's upset, then win the first game. Score a goal in the first game.
Yep. And don't be offsides on your fifth.
No.
That was crazy because they scored their fifth in like the 92nd minute or something. And City think that they won, and Tottenham are just beyond themselves. Nobody really saw it at first, and then they VAR'd it. And remember, VAR was just introduced to Champions League this year and in the knockout stages.
Right.
That initial pass to Aguero.
Offsides. And the real question for me is, to switch this back, because I'd said this about Liverpool with how that game went. Is this game the game that we look back and go, well, this is why Man City ended up winning the Premier League, because Tottenham took them out and they could focus squarely on the Premier League?
It might be, yeah. I mean, you'd certainly think that City are now mad after that game and are going to try to win as many as they can.
True. What's the rest of their schedule?
They have United midweek. Not that will pose that much of a threat, but it is at Old Trafford.
Yeah, but it's always
and we did hinder their Premier League win a little bit last year. Remember, it was that second half comeback where Pogba got a brace.
Let's be honest, a draw, right? That'd be huge. I mean, like, and their last game's against Tottenham, right? Is that right? The Spurs?
I don't know. I don't have their schedule up right now.
I have to go back and look.
Yeah, it might be.
I do feel like that's one of the last matches for right.
Man. I mean, and you don't necessarily see them messing up too much.
Man City coming up. Man City and Tottenham are playing each other coming up. Not the final. That is not the final. No, the rest of their run.
They do have Tottenham on 420.
Tottenham on 420 coming up
this Saturday.
Then they play Man United. Then they play Burnley. Then they play Leicester. Then they play Brighton Hove Albion. Oh, Brighton. Whew.
Yep.
That can be. So that's not. I mean, Burnley, Leicester, and Brighton should be winnable. But Man United, anytime it's a derby, anything can happen. And then Tottenham, will they come out the gate explosive, or will Tottenham be fired up? Like, let's do it again. I
think Tottenham's going to be fired up.
Yeah.
Especially because they have to do it without Harry Kane.
What a crazy, crazy Champions League game for them to move forward to. So then they will be facing Porto.
Who?
Correct? I mean, Tottenham for the
Ajax, I believe.
They'll be facing Ajax. Woof.
Come on, Ajax.
Ooh,
should be a fun game though, because both play a very attacking, open, free style of ball.
Gosh, do you imagine though a final between Ajax and
Barca?
And
that's
Barca,
like a final of back in the day.
Well, even Liverpool actually with the style of play with Ajax too. Like any of these clubs would make a really.
I'm talking
fun
about like
final.
the Barca Cruyff years with all that kind of back in the day. So
that wraps up our Champions League. I think I think in interest of time, we should talk about like our week one of the NWSL kicked off. But do we save our predictions for next go round?
I think we can go through it real quick.
You think?
Yeah.
And these never go fast. They never go quick.
We've been pretty fast so far. I'm confident in us.
You just ruined it. You just ruined it.
And there's no reasoning. You just give your picks and move.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay, cool.
So
Fine.
NWSL opened up. We actually have some week one, but we've also moved into week 2 at this point.
Yep.
Well,
with some matches.
North
teams.
Carolina
And-
did. Pride tried to, but they got smacked 5-0.
Gosh, that was just rough. So some of the big ones to talk about on opening of week 1 were Washington Spirit against Sky Blue FC, who's Sky Blue. Boy, they're having some front office troubles and just stuff they're going through, but they lose 2-0. It's crazy because the troubles Sky Blue is having, and they're already talking about an NWSL expansion in LA and Atlanta. It was on topic, and I just thought, man, you got to wrap up the Sky Blue thing first.
Yeah.
Unless your expansion is not really expansion and they're going to move or so. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I'm just worried about the strength of the league and then expanding too rapidly.
Yeah.
You still have teams. North Carolina Courage is what? 2. This is their second year.
Second year in North Carolina, but remember
Right.
they were
Remember the Flash.
West.
But there was
New York Flash, yeah.
right? But there was a lot of turbulence in that whole thing. Sky Blue FC has a lot of turbulence right now. I just don't want to see them expand too rapidly, overextend themselves, and then the league suffers for it.
Right. Do it smart. I actually watched some of the games on the Yahoo Sports service, actually.
Oh, did you?
Or the sports, they're streamed on the Yahoo Sports app, or if you go to the website for Yahoo Sports. And to be honest, actually, it was quite good coverage. We enjoyed watching the matches.
Very cool.
So next up, we were looking at another highlighted match to look at was North Carolina Courage, Chicago Red Stars. They draw 1-1.
Crystal Dunn
Dunn and Sam Kerr.
goal.
And Sam Kerr opened
Yep.
up the season with the first NWSL goal of the season.
Here at home for us, Orlando Pride host the Portland Thorns. I think they're going to be good again, y'all. The
Thorns.
The Thorns, yes. They
Yes,
win
yes.
2-0. Caitlin Ford, and I hate to admit it, because obviously I'm an Orlando fan, but I did kind of cheer Tobin Heath scoring. I just like Tobin Heath.
Yeah,
He's
national
awesome.
team player.
Yeah, I mean,
Plays with such heart.
yeah.
Yeah, and the Pride looked. Was talking to at Tony. Sounds good after the game, and I think he's right. It looked like they're just trying to adapt to a new system, a new coach. For me, I think we have to do a better job of getting the ball out to the wings and getting the ball out. We try to play too much down the center, and against a good team like the Thorns, especially when you have Haran that's sitting in there, and not Sauerbrunn, but oh god, I can't remember her name. But you have to get the ball out, and you have to spread the field out a little bit. And we have that wing play. If you push, well, we don't have that wing play, but we do have people that can play out on the wing, if that makes sense. If you push Marta further out and you push even Hill, just get her further out. But Marta wanted to play inside, and then you get next to Morgan, and there's just not that. You got to get the ball going fast and get the ball out, and then whip the ball in the box.
Very linear attacking style.
Correct.
I will say this. I really like the Pride's coach. I liked his conversation, especially after the drubbing that they took to Carolina Courage. He's got to get results, obviously, but I liked what he was saying. The post match of the game. The other highlighted match we were looking at was the Houston Dash hosting the Seattle Reign, and they both draw. They draw 1-1. And that was your opening week. It was nice to have the NWSL back.
Certainly was. I didn't get a chance to watch all the games, but as the season goes on, I'm excited that it's back.
And like I said, you can watch for free on either Yahoo Sports on the web or through the app, which then also I had to watch like on Apple TV or anything like that. So then this brings us around to you want to be doing some predicciones?
Sure. Well, Blake, start us off. So what we're going to predict here, gentlemen, is we are going to predict 4 teams to make it in the playoffs, no particular order: Golden Boot, MVP, table winner, and then the champions. Blake, kick us off.
This might be a boring prediction because I'll be shocked if we're not very similar. I'm going to go with the North Carolina Courage. I'm going to go for the 4 for the playoffs. I'm going to go with Portland Thorns. And I'm going to say, I'm going to go Chicago Red Stars and the Reign.
I like it. Mr. Ron.
He totally stole mine.
All the same?
Yep, all the same. Courage, Red Stars, Thorns, Seattle.
I was a little torn on Reign because, they moved. But I don't know if you've seen, they've been really cool with the fans about getting the fans in the South area out to the stadium. And, yeah. So I was a little torn. Will that affect them as they go forward? But I'm going to.
I will go Courage, Thorns, Spirit, and then I want to do a homer pick.
Because none of us did.
But there's reservations. I'll take an outsider there with the dash, too.
All right. I like that.
Golden Boot. Ron.
Crystal Dunn.
Oh,
I was thinking the same. I was thinking the same, but I actually, I'm going to change mine up for a reason. Blake?
That is hysterical. Well, you know what? I picked them to do well. So why don't I say Tobin Heath then?
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I like it. I will actually go with Ashley Hatch of the Spirit. It's a World Cup year, so a lot of people are going to be missing, and I think she can put the ball in the back of the net. So I'll go with Ashley Hatch. MVP.
Man, it's nuts. By the way, sorry, I was just looking at little stats here, and we're not doing good. Despite the fact we're not doing good, Ashlyn Harris, our goalkeeper, has like 14 saves, like
3,700,
far more than anybody else at this point. And you're like, that's awesome and not good, right? At the same time, number 2 is 7 saves. We've only got 2 games in, guys. 2 games in. Thank God, Ashlyn Harris plays here.
She's gonna have a good year.
Ooh, man. Sorry, what do we move on to?
MVP.
Well, it's your turn to start off. Ron started.
My go-to would be Haram, but I don't know if she can win it 2 years in a row. So I will change that up slightly, and I'm going to use this time to stall because I don't really know.
I do.
Yeah,
go ahead, Ron.
Caitlin Ford.
Oh,
okay.
Portland Thorns.
I was gonna go. Actually, since Ron jumped on with the golden boot, I was gonna go with Crystal Dunn. Actually, from the Courage.
That is a good shout. Man, I don't know. I really.
You made this quiz.
Yeah, I know, but now I'm like struggling to think of like. I'll just go with my gut and say Haran because I do think she is a very quality player and she may be the first one to do it twice. So, why not? Blake, I'm sorry. You picked Dunn.
Yep.
You went forward, Ron, and then I'll go Haran. Go with my gut there. Table winner, gents.
Just back up to me.
Back up to you.
I'm gonna say table winners will be the Courage.
Yeah, I'll stick with you on that one. I think the Courage as well.
I'm going to monkey wrench that one and do the Thorns.
Not a boy. And then champions.
I'm going to go with the Thorns. Let's change it from the table winner.
That's funny. I'm going with Carolina Courage.
Okay.
Which change it up.
Oh, bother.
Oh, bother, poo, piglet.
At least I didn't curse. I will actually. No, I can't say that. I will go with the Courage as well. Well, actually, no. No, I'm going to change it up right now, right here, before we even know their picks. Instead of the Dash, the Utah Royals, for me, are going to be the ones that get in, and I see the Utah Royals winning themselves a championship this year. So making the amendment right now before we get too much further. Royals make it in the top 4 for me, and they win the entire thing.
Wow. Look, that's quite the call.
Sure. I just changed it to the Thorns and Courage. Whatever.
Fair enough.
But I do like the Royals. I think they have a good team out there, and I think year 2 will be better than year 1 for them, and they'll sneak into the playoffs.
Mm.
Did that wrap us up?
That wrapped us
That
up.
does.
That was it. That was all of it. I'm just happy that the NWSL is back. I know it's going to be very wonky this year with a lot of midweek games due to scheduling for the World Cup. It's going to throw a little bit of a monkey wrench in the scheduling. And I don't know if the league's doing themselves all that good, because I know that a lot of players are going to miss some good amount of games because of it, unfortunately. But I am happy that it's back. I'm happy that it's still in existence. I am just being at the game on Sunday. You're seeing just world-class players. Haran out there, Marta out there.
She scored on us, and I couldn't help but cheer for Tobin Heath, because you're just like, you're awesome.
Just absolutely, just world class, and from every, not just the U.S. Brazil, Australia,
Tons of good Australian.
I mean, Canada. Yeah, you are seeing some players out there, and some young players too. The Pride had a few that I thought did very well, whether they're out of the college system via the draft or they're acquired from other teams. Yeah, very good.
The opening match, we couldn't make it, so we were here at home, and I cut on the stream on Yahoo, and during the half, they played an awesome kind of montage video of the draft day. It was so good. It was really well put together. Yeah. It was very good.
That's what you were saying to me. Pretty cool.
Well, that wraps us up for today's Beer and Soccer podcast. So, as always, please give us a follow on the Twitters at Brewtiful Game. Look for us on Facebook. Our website's thebrutifulgame.com, where you can find all these things. Follow us on Untapped to become friends with us on there, so we can see what beers you're trying, what we're trying.
Instagram.
As we search for new stuff to try. Instagrams. Is there anything else? I think that
we have a website. Did you say that?
I did say that. I'm glad you're paying attention over here.
It's a black lager, by the way.
It's a black lager. I was just going to ask. Again, our beer of the pod was a nice schwarzbier, a matte black from Brew Hub. And I think that has us except for our joke of the day. Are we ready for a joke of the day?
Well, not just a joke of the day.
The dad joke of the day.
All right, here we go.
The day.
From the book Ron gave us for Christmas. Oh, by the way, our listener Clark, who gave us a review, he didn't get the
what?
Exactly. Some issue. So I got the info. We're gonna I don't know, we'll do this priority or something mail.
You gotta send it with a certification.
I know,
so
get this sucker to you, Clark. You serious, Clark? That was, of course, as soon as I got the email, I'm like, what? But by the way,
a while ago too.
He sent a really so nice for him to not have received his koozie and stuff yet. It was still the nicest email. Clark, you're awesome. He was complimenting us. Thank you. It was just so great. In fact, it was even titled, "You're still the best," even though I haven't gotten my thing yet or whatever. But
that sucks, man.
But
I wish we'd have known that earlier.
We'll get you covered. Well, we just found out. I mean, anyway, we'll get that. We'll get it covered. So, here we go.
Good.
Let's see. So you guys say stop. I'm flipping through the books of dad jokes. It's the gift that keeps on giving the whole year, which is why I remembered about Clark.
Long.
These, oh man, sometimes you're like, I don't, when ones are like so bad they don't even really like, they just
don't want to read it.
You're like,
keep flipping them. Go on.
Yeah, that was not a good batch. It was not a good batch. Okay.
Stop.
Okay. Let's see. Oh man. Okay, guys.
That means it's particularly rough.
Yeah, it's particularly horrid.
All right, guys, here goes. Why did the dad have to quit his job as a fisherman?
Why?
I don't know.
He was suffering from too much peer pressure.
Give him one more, please.
I was excited about the new Star Wars trailer. Did you know why Anakin Skywalker crossed the road? To get to the dark side.
So gross. It's so gross.
Really, just terrible. Cricket should be playing right now.
I know. If we had the
little
sound effect,
God, nothing like ending the show with a bit of host them up.
Speaking
gents.
of dark side, this was a good dark beer.
Yeah, it was. Love the beer, cherish the game, the Brewtiful Game.
We ended a pod that way.